You are now watching a Lucky Penny Shop product feature. Here is a complete video of a maker set from start to finish. If you want to skip ahead to specific points in the video, then check the description below for skip times. Enjoy! Hey, it's Lucky Penny Shop, and it's time for the next Easy Bake Oven in our series. This one has the Betty Crocker name on it with Kenner in the corner. We haven't seen the Hasbro logo yet come into the picture here, but oven's coming up. We're going to start seeing some changes to the oven. This one actually works differently than the other two ovens we've shown you. Has lower wattage bulbs in it as well, but it does take two, so it went from 100 watts to 60 watts, and I'll show you a little bit more about that or talk about it. There is the side of the box. It says flanged safety plug, and it lists everything that's in there. We pretty much have everything in the picture, including some of the mixes, I think. And the other side of the box is the same thing. It's a repeat. Very colorful. Now, there's other variations we haven't shown you yet. Now, we've shown you two 60s ovens, and now we're in the 70s. I've seen this listed as early as 73. This one's dated 76. And then here's the top, which is kind of neat. Very eye-catching in the store, right? But it is a cool 70s type font with the 70s styling there. The next thing to do is actually take it out of the box. So let me do that next. All right, here we go. Here is what this oven looks like. And I'm going to say it's moving up there in regards to what I think is the nicest looking oven. I think this one and the one before it were the two coolest ovens so far. And, it's going to start to change as we move into other ovens. I do like the coloring and the style on the front of this one. Pretty neat. There's also a spot to put tools up here, and you can put pans on this section here. Now, this doesn't heat up. There is another oven coming up later that does heat up on the top section. So nothing else opens or closes on this. There's no compartments. There's this under storage. I guess you can keep your trays under there, or pans or pots or whatever you want to keep underneath there. And then this again is something new, see? In the other two ovens, each tray would push the other tray out. This one actually is using a pan pusher, but they call it something else. I'll show you that in a second. And then let me just show you the three mixes. There was original mixes in there, which we're not going to use. I can't use those. These are back from 1976, but at least you could see what they look like and what they were using back then. There's the back, nothing on it. Let's get those out of the way. And then here was that coupon. Worth 35 coupons. Check that out. Oh, check it out this way. There you go. Oh, can you see that? And I'll flip it over. There's your 35 coupons. How neat is that? And then the book. The book now is different. New recipes in here. Different than what we've seen. There's some repeats, but let's just show you the style of the book. Isn't that neat? The coloring, the pink hues for mom and dad. Did you see that? For mom and dad. That's nice to see. Oh, they call it a push bar here. For sliding baking pan into baking chambers. Now, it's something new. All right, so we'll check that out and how it works later in the video. And then I also saw there was a cool picture here of the pans going through the oven. Look at that. See, that's how it's going through the oven and you're grabbing them. And then the recipes. Well, of course, washing. And then this is the mixes that come with it or other mixes that you can get at the time. Now there's milk chocolate brownies, peanut butter cookies, biscuits. So I was thinking now, I was looking at this one here, jam dandies, which looks interesting. And then peanut butter fudge, doesn't that sound interesting? Also cinnamon coffee cake, but I don't think I'll do that one today. I was thinking maybe the top two. There's sugar buttons and bake along with mom. See, you can use mom's stuff to bake in the oven. And this one took two 60-watt light bulbs. There's some mixes of the time also in the boxes. The other ovens we had took two 100-watt light bulbs. So, little difference here. So I need to get all the stuff together, my ingredients, and get set. And we'll make those two recipes. Okay, here we go. I am all set. I have the ingredients set off to the side here. It seems like the recipe's pretty simple, but it's my first time making it, so we'll see how it goes. And if you remember now, this oven didn't come with any other accessories. And in the book, it even tells you the things you will need. So you don't get the mixing bowls and spoons like we saw in the other ovens. But we'll see again on a future oven. So here we go. Let's get to the recipe here. It was 3 tablespoons of flour. So let me do a little adjustment here. Oven's going. 3 tablespoons of flour. So let's do that. Here's my tablespoon. Alright, there's 2, and then 3. I'm done with it, so I will leave it off to the side and cover it because we do not need it. And then we have 1 tablespoon crushed country corn flakes. Now I was hoping to use this tool again. And there's 2 tablespoons, there's 1 tablespoon, so I should just be able to flip it over and grind. Ooh, let me close that little lid. Looks like it's working good. Okay, so there is 1 tablespoon. Let me just take it off. I'm going to take the back of my wood spoon and just give it a little chopping for the few that went through too big. Okay. It doesn't say how crushed, it just says crushed, so looks like we got a few big chunks in there, but overall, I think we're ready to go. Alright, let's put that in there so you see that. Okay. Let me get that back on. Now that's a nifty little tool, I think. Hope I can use that again. Let me move the cornflakes out of the way. And then, okay, so flour, cereal, butter, and sugar. So the butter, it was 1 tablespoon soft butter. So here we go. It's ready to go. It's nice and soft. 1 tablespoon. I always look on the side just to make sure I'm about right. Okay, 1 tablespoon butter. Let's move that out of the way. We'll need that to grease our pans later. And 1 teaspoon of sugar. So let's get a teaspoon in here. 1 teaspoon. And that looks like a nice level teaspoon. Alright, so let me just confirm my instructions here, my recipe. So it says, in a bowl, mix the flour, cereal, brown sugar, butter and sugar until crumbly. Reserve 2 tablespoons. Okay, so then we're going to mix this now. Let's get in here. Let me do a little adjustment here. Move my trays out of the way. We'll need the raspberry jam later. Just get some powder onto this. Well, that'll crush it more. While I'm doing that, I can be rereading my recipe here and talking to you at the same time. So it says 2 tablespoons of the crumbly mixture need to be reserved. Okay. Then it says press the remaining mixture firmly into a pan, spread with jam, and then crumble the rest on top. So it looks like we're only going to get 1 out of this recipe. Cut into wedges. So bake 18 minutes. I'm not seeing a crumbly mixture yet, but I'm just going to keep going here. Just keep pressing into the butter. Now, the other recipes in the book we'll probably get to. Now, if we find we're missing an oven between years, because it's hard to track them all down, then we will update and probably do those other recipes, or we'll come back to an oven. Not sure yet how this is all going to work out, because we have probably another 8 ovens that we haven't seen yet that are all part of the Easy Bake line. There's the 25th anniversary, the 50th anniversary, and ovens in between. Okay, I think we're close. Ooh, little flour on the edge there. Alright, it looks like I can press this into something, doesn't it? Yes, I think it is. So let's grease our pan. I know it's a lot, but we don't want any sticking. I will scrape it out in a little bit. Okay, that's good. Scrape it back on my butter tab here. looks pretty good. A few times I've used my fingers. This time I did not. Okay. All right. Now it says, so 2 tablespoons off to the side. So here's a tablespoon. Let me get something to put it in here. I'll just put it in a little plate I have. So 2 tablespoons. There's 1. That's our crumble for the top. There's 2. Okay. And then put the rest in and press firmly into the pan. All right, here we go. Ooh, I think it's going to be tasty. There's just so many other recipes too that we can try. When they say use mom's stuff, you can, take regular cake mix. So that's why I'm in no rush to do everything in the books we have now. There's other ovens that we can test things on. And then we'll go into the pre-mixes on some of the ovens and see how those work. Okay, that's good. Then it says 2 teaspoons of raspberry jam. Spread that on, so there's 1. And here is 2. Okay, get my spreader here. Trying to get all the way to the edge. How's that look? Good? Looks good to me. Okay, and now put the rest of the crumble on. Now it says, sprinkle reserved crumble mix over jam, press gently with fingers. Okay. I guess they don't want you to squish the jam out. There, nice looking little crumble we have there. It's a jam dandy. Alright, so let me make an adjustment here and let's get to putting this in the oven. Okay, here we go. This is the side of the oven. I'll show you this first before we look inside. You cannot put the trays in low. There's like a stopper here. So you have to go to this upper section and you take your push bar. Now the way this is designed now, kind of like the new ovens, it stops you from going too far and it gets to the point. That means it's in the oven now. Alright? So that one's set. So now let's take a look inside. Alright, there you go. Trying to look inside here. This oven has like a hazy plastic on it. So even by looking at it from my eye and not through the camera, it's not very crisp and sharp. But I'll leave it on there for a little bit. Remember, this bakes for 18 minutes. So my timer is set. I'll let it go just a little bit here, but I think I won't show you the full baking just because the oven window is not too clear. Alright, so we'll check back in a little bit. Okay, I am back. The oven is going in the background there. We have about 3.5 minutes left, so I thought good time to start the next recipe. And basically we're doing the peanut butter fudge, and it says just combine it all in there, mix it up. Well, first grease your pan, which I haven't done, but I'll do that. And then in a bowl, mix all the ingredients until smooth. Spread mixture in the grease pan and bake for 5 minutes. So I'm ready to go. 1/2 cup of confectioner's sugar, ready to go. I got a little prep done. I like to do the measuring in front of you sometimes. Okay, and then 1 tablespoon of peanut butter. I got creamy peanut butter. And if the timer goes off, it is okay because I shorted it for about a minute just to give myself a little leeway here. 1 tablespoon of peanut butter. Nice and creamy peanut butter. Looks good. We'll leave that there. And 2 teaspoons of cocoa. So let's get our teaspoon measure out. And I need a leveler here. There's 1 teaspoon. And then 2 teaspoons. Okay, that's done. That is the next ingredient. 2½ teaspoons of milk. Let me bring my chocolate one back in here. I have the milk right in the back. So there is 1, 2, and I even have a half now. So let me grab, where's my half? Well, that's half of a tablespoon. Let's see, half of a teaspoon. I'm going to do it right on here, and a half. Okay? And then a half a teaspoon of soft butter or margarine, which I have ready to go. And then a 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla. 1/4 vanilla. Ooh, this might go over just a little. Ooh, right on. Good. Okay, so mix it all up. We have a minute and 20 seconds on the timer. So I'm going to take my time. I don't want to rush and just get this everywhere. So if the timer goes off, I'm just going to let it go till I'm ready. Then I can let this sit. There you go. I was pretty excited about this peanut butter fudge just to see what it was like. It doesn't bake long, and there was also a tip in there if you want to speed up the cooling process. It said refrigerate it for 5 minutes, so we'll see. I'll see. I need time to kind of wash everything anyway and get ready for the final presentation. Ooh, it's starting to get creamy. Look at that. So 30 seconds, that timer's going to go off. And most importantly is to get the pan out. So I'll do that. I'll stop wherever mixing here, and we'll get the pan out, and we'll come back and get this one prepped and ready to go in the oven. It's nice when plans work, which they don't always do. So you just got to run with it. That looks good. Oh, see? Ooh, smell the peanut butter. Look at the rich chocolate. Let me turn off that timer. Okay, so now I need to push a pan through to get that one out, so let me get set up for that. All right, so what I'm going to do now is actually just move this one to the cooling side and go back to the peanut butter. So I'm putting an empty tray in there to push that one through. Let me get my pusher. Okay, so now the tray is sitting right here at the edge, see? And I could take this now and use this to pull it out, but I'm going to let it cool just a little bit. Doesn't look like it's 100% ready yet to be touched. And let me go back to the peanut butter and get that one set. Okay, the one in the background is cooling now, so I need to get my pan ready, which it wasn't, so I'm going to use my fingers again. I know, I didn't do it the first time, but I've done it in other videos. It's just easier. Get all the little crevices. There you go. And then I wasn't 100% satisfied with my final mix there, but it was close. There's still little chunks of powdered sugar in there. You want a nice close-up of that? Let's take a close-up of that. It smells good. I really smell the peanut butter. And we need to get this into the pan. Okay, I think we're good. I think I got the lumps and the chunks out. Just get it all in there and let it do its thing. Now fudge, I guess probably doesn't need to bake for long because it only baked for 5 minutes. So it's not required to cook too long. That's a thick one though. Spread it around in the pan. That's all it said, and put it in the oven. Okay. Just want to push it around a little bit more and flatten it in the middle. Okay, how's that look? All right, so let's put this one in the oven. Okay, so remember now I have an empty tray in there, so I need to get this first tray out. I'm going to stick it right on here, and it is a little warm because it's still, you know, near the light bulbs. That's what that one looks like. And let's turn this oven around and put the next tray in here. That looks nice. And then push it in. So now I'll have an empty tray in the warming area. I know that one's in the right spot. So I have 5 minutes now. Let's see if we can take a look at this one through the little window. Okay, there's that one. Now you see this little swirl right here? That is in the plastic, so I can't, it's nothing I can clean off or get out of the way for you. It's just what's there on the oven. You can see it in the background there. So I'm going to let this run probably for the full 5 minutes, but edit some of it out. And if it looks cool or changes, then I'll leave that footage in. All right, the timer went off for the peanut butter fudge. Let me push the tray through. Kind of gave you a little different perspective there. Okay, so that tray is ready to come out. I'm going to pull it right out onto a hot mitt. Oh, it did change on the top. Check that out. And then, ooh, it's slippery. So before I move it too much, what I'll do is I will take that and put that in the refrigerator, and we will check it out. Well, here we go. I'm all set and ready to get them onto a plate. The fudge here, remember a little bit went on the edge. I just wiped it off with my finger before I put it in the refrigerator, but it's ready to go. It looks like it's set up. I don't know for sure, but this is our first one, so let's see what's going on here. See if I can cut it for, oh, just moved. It crumbled on me, but that's okay. Let me just get the first piece out, and I'll test that piece, and I'll cut a bigger piece. I just want to taste it. I like that one. I don't think there's a recipe I haven't liked yet. Let's cut a bigger piece. Oh, it's softer in the middle because there's more jam in the middle, remember? There, we'll just take this, put that on my plate. How's that look? I thought about topping that one off too with a little Ready Whip. Give it a little dollop, huh? And top it with a cherry. It's a nice little dessert. Now let's check out this one here. This one I'm a little, well, concerned but unsure of because it's such a unique consistency, but let me cut it and see. Oh, it looks okay. It looks like it's held its shape. The first piece is always the hardest to get out. It is a little creamy, but maybe a little bit more time in the drying, you know, in the refrigerator. Let's just see. I didn't try that one, so let me get a fork here. I think I want to top that one off too. These are more for presentation right now. How's that? No cherry. You don't get a cherry. Let me taste it. So it had a crispy shell. Oh, look at all the butter. There it is, see? Oh, it's good. Yes, it's still warm. So I bet if I let this sit a little bit longer in the fridge, it would have a nicer consistency than it has now. Because it just needs to set just a little bit more. But I can clean that off. Alright, very good. Which do I like better? That's a real tough one. I think they're both probably the best recipes so far that I've tried. Here they are. Which would you want? How's that? Let's leave it up to you. I'll get everything out of the way so I can zoom in on them. Which would you like? I don't like that angle. Ah. The crumble on the right. Let me go refer to my recipes. So we have the jam dandies, which is this one here, and then the peanut butter fudge. Leave it in the comments. And as always, If you want to see more videos in this series, this Easy Bake series, there'll be a playlist in the description, or you can search our channel. And thanks for watching. It's really appreciated. Hope you enjoyed the video. Later! If you want to find this item, click the link in the description area below the video. You can also watch more videos in this series by clicking here. Thanks for watching! And always remember, if you see a lucky penny, pick it up!